There it is. I got it. I like to have people talk in these sessions. You will have more of these coming up tonight. We're going to talk about systems. So if you are an entrepreneur, ministry leader, aspiring author or an author or whatever respective role you play, I think you logged in for a reason. So I'm going to ask you a question. I need y'all to either I'm gonna ask Tanisha too, because she on the stage. So I'm gonna ask her too if she wants to come off and share. Go ahead in the chat box or in the chat room, what is a system and why do you need it? What is a system and why do you need it? You can put that in the chat box. And Tanisha, if you would like to come off since you're on the stage with me, sweetie, you can share what you think a system is and why is that important for where you are in your life.
Well, again, good evening, everybody. And whenever I do speak, I have to give honor to where honor is due.
Yeah.
Forgive my sister. Thank you for allowing your platform to be open. And so I honor you on today. My sister, my mentor, my everything. But anyway, so a system to me is a way of doing something for me to give me a peace of mind. I have to have, like, a system is my way of functioning basically every day. So we think about systems, but our whole entire body is a system. It's made up of a system, and it operates accordingly. And so for me, in my line of work, I say work, but it's really my passion, which is an educator. If I don't have a system in that classroom for even going to the restroom or even raising your hand, it can cause a lot of chaos and disruptive behavior. So to me, a system is the lifeline of my day-to-day things, and depending on how well your system operates can determine how well you do perform or how poorly it is. So a system, a strategic way of doing things, and it's consistent.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Y'all hear that? She said it is strategic and consistent. You are absolutely right. It's a process. It's a procedure. It's a way of doing things. And as business owners, educators, just mothers, aunties, and the men on here, uncles, dads, we all need some type of system. We all need some type of system. We all need something that is in order, that's a structure, that is something that is working. God bless you guys. I see you, Erica. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see. We have someone in the chat. Hey, Civi, we have some life coaches here. Listen, drop your business. True Vision LLC. God bless you so much for joining on here. You need a system. You need a system in place. Getting up or, a routine, some type of pathway to get from one thing to the next. So systems are important. For those of you who are on Zoom, I do have some people on Clubhouse who would like to, who are on here as well sharing. But if you would like to talk, all you have to do, if you're on Zoom and you like to talk, all you have to do is raise your hand and I will be able to let you off and you can add your piece to the puzzle, because we all learn from each other. This is not just me pouring out all of my information. We all have a wealth of knowledge, and so we all can learn from one another. But I love what Tanisha said. She said it's it's something that's strategic. It's something that you're putting in order. And then she said that you need consistency. How many of us, and let's be honest with ourselves, we go through life and we can get inconsistent at times. We start and we stop. I can talk about my weight loss journey. Y'all, the hardest thing for me to do is get these pounds off. I have to have some type of strategic system. Oh, y'all coming on up here now. I see y'all joining on the stage. Thank y'all so much. But I have I failed when it comes to weight loss, because it is very hard, and it's hard to get in a rhythm. And it seems like the enemy fights me so bad when it comes to those things. But systems are so important. It helps us achieve things. They help us outline goals and things that we need to do. So we need a system. Thank you so much, Sivy and Kimmy, for coming to the stage. If you guys would like to add content or context to the conversation, go ahead and come off of mute and let's talk.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
How's your day going?
Hey, Sivy.
Hey, how's your day going today?
It is going well.
Yes, I wanted to add to the system. You know, God tells us faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So you can't you can't go into something and not work at it, not have the faith that you know you can do it. I deal with I work with clients with mental health. So my thing is that I tell them is the ones that suffer with anxiety, depression. What the plan? What is your plan that you have for the day? What do you have set out for today? Yeah. That's going to start your day off right. What's going to get you going? And it's like you said, you on the bandwagon of losing weight, and then you fall off because food is tempting. It's tempting to everybody, and I can attest to that. It's tempting to me. I love to eat. I love to, and my thing is snacking. I'm a bad snacker because I love snacks. But we have to get into have our mindset change that, hey, you know, in order for me to have this to work, I got to put the work in. I got to have some kind of system. Yeah. It's just like when we were in school and we learned about government. You know, legislative, executive, and judicial branch. Everything has a system. So you have to have a system on what are you going to do the next morning. If you have to write them down on a notepad, put them on the side of your bed to start your day off. I start my day off with prayer, and I start with some hype music, whatever that you like. It can be some hype music of gospel music to start my day. That's how, you know, I start my day. So every little bit helps that you can get from somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's good, Sivy. That's good. She started off with that verse, faith without works is dead. And then she said it's a mindset thing. It all starts in your mind. Everything you do starts in your mind. You have to change the way you think about it. Even for me, I have to change the way that I think about, you know, losing weight. I have to change the way I think about being an entrepreneur. I am not the same person that I was 2 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago when I started part-time. My mentality has shifted. And so if we are looking to have a system or put certain things in place, we have to change our mindset about those things. We have to show up a little bit differently. We have to be a different person. We have to sacrifice some things. We have to put some things in order to get where we need to go. So thank you so much, Sivy, for adding to that conversation. I see Kimmy is on the stage, but I don't know if she's able to talk or if she, I see it says the phone icon. But yeah, systems, you have to have some type of routine. You have to have some type of thing in place, and doing something out of your norm is going to take you to change your mindset. Not picking up a soda and getting a bottle of water, that is something that you got to change mentally, because your body is going to crave all of that sugar, and you're so used to popping a soda or getting gum or, you know, eating sweets. it's a shift that you have to make in your mind first. And so, yeah. Welcome, Kimmy. Do you have something you want to add to the conversation?
Good evening, everyone. You know I have something to add, sis. You know I do. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. I am a life coach as well. I'm a life transition coach, where I help people with the milestones that unfortunately we all will face, such as dealing with grief and divorce, chronic illness, caregiving. I talk to parents in regards to child safety on the internet, and I also deal with bullying and anxiety and depression as well. And just in the conversations that Sylvia brought up and Charrisa, we all have things that we deal with, and it is a matter of conquering it in your mind first. But also, you have to prepare. You know what your weaknesses are. We all know what our weaknesses are. And so we need to prepare in advance. Like for me, in trying to lose weight, I know that if I get in a position where I have to truly think about what I want to eat, I'm setting myself up for failure. A lot of people don't really like to do meal prep, but it is easier if you do meal prep. Or if you know you're always on the go or always on the out, go ahead and have certain things that you don't have to worry about melting, or that you can go ahead and have, so that you don't fall into a trap. Well, let me just stop by here and get some French fries. You got something in your pocket, your book bag, or whatever already. So if you prepare for things like that, and then that also helps the chances of doing better. I like what I've been hearing about faith. I also have a YouTube channel where the Holy Spirit led me to start a few months back in regards to COB, which is Codes of Business with Coach Kimmy J. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go on and I talk to people about the Word of God and how it applies to our life. Because I feel like so many people aren't reading the Word. Technology is a good thing, and it's also a curse. We're not really studying the Word and letting it absorb, and we're not really praying in depth. We're going and we're having venting sessions with God instead of giving thanks, instead of having worship and praise. And we treat God as if he's some type of genie. So I said all that because today's message was because of your faith. And I was talking about the people, some of the people, because we have a lot of people that did things on faith, but we had Abraham going and leaving his home without even knowing where he was going, and offering Isaac as a sacrifice. We have Rahab, which is the prostitute who did not die like the rest of her people in the city. And we go on and on about Noah building the ark. And I challenge everyone to say, by the end of the day, we close the business, to be able to look at your faith. Do you have big faith or little faith? And even if you have little faith, that's fine. It can be as small as a mustard seed. But these people did incredible things and had things happen because of their faith. So if you were to fill in the sentence and fill in the blank and ask yourself, because of my faith, blank, blank, what could happen because of your degree of faith? Can you move mountains for real? And we're scared to really talk about faith and walk in faith because society has made us to be a minority, and they start looking at you crazy, and you worry about folks going to put you in an asylum and start handing you out medicine. But we have to be more bold in our walk with Christ and show true faith and believe it and not waver based on how people are looking at us or what people will think. So that's my 2 cents. I'm be quiet.
No, that was amazing, girl. No, that was amazing. You are so right. We have to do those things, and we have to just kind of, think about these things as we are going on about our day, and, with faith and how we are trying to, obtain a thing or trying to do a thing, but we don't have these certain things in place. So yes, Kimmy, that was awesome. I appreciate that. And, as we continue this conversation, as we're talking about systems, like I said, we have people from all walks of life. We have business owners in here. We have educators. We have ministry leaders. We have fitness people. I want you to just kind of think about where you are and what systems you have in place already. Like, this is a system for me and my coaching clients. I schedule a time to pour into them and give them resources and things to make them think about what they're doing in their business or in their walk of life. These are sessions and systems that I have in place. It's always great for me to do a text message or a phone call, but I like doing group coaching because you get to hear not from just one person, but several sides. So this is a system that I have in place when I have my coaching with my clients, having these types of events planned out, mapped out, so that we can come on and just talk and really dive deep in the conversation. So I want you to think about where you are. And I love that the fact that we have an educator in the room. I'm well, you know, I am an educator, even though I'm not in the classroom, but there are so many things that an educator has to do to have in place. So I'm glad that she's here because she can even relate to this conversation, because a system helps you stay organized. I heard consistency. It's a routine that you have to follow. So I want you to think about where you are, whether you're a business owner, educator, entrepreneur, writer. Think about where you are, and let's talk about some of the systems that you have in place as an educator, as an author, as a business owner, as a leader, as a prayer intercessor. What are some of the systems that you have in place? Anyone can come off of mute if you're on Clubhouse, or if you're on Zoom and you would like to talk, just raise your hand and let's add to that let's add to the conversation. What systems do you have in place?
Well, in regards to my ministry, which is Unveiled Silhouette, where I do my life coaching, one of the first things that I do when someone reaches out to me is I have a assessment, a little short assessment form that I send to them to complete. And then once I receive that assessment form, we go ahead and have maybe a 15 to 20 minute consultation to get to know one another, because I believe that you have to have a good fit with your clientele. And if sometimes people may be further off than I can assist, because I have to remind people as a life coach, no, I'm not a therapist, a psychiatrist. No, I don't issue out medicine. And so before we even get started, I need to make sure that I'm a good fit, because you may need someone that can issue medicine or whatever the case may be. So we have that assessment and, talk about what they are trying to achieve. And once we go from there, we go ahead and I let them think about if they want to work with me or not. And I send out an email, just kind of let them know it's great talking to them, hope to get to know them, hope to work with them or whatever, and ask for a reply or things like that, so we know if we want to continue to even do it, because a lot of people are hesitant with life coaching because unfortunately in the African American culture, we feel like we don't need to tell people our business. It's taboo to talk to somebody. It's a sign of weakness. And so I had to try to cut past that tape so that it's okay for you to have someone to talk to. Everybody doesn't have a support system or a good support system. And you are really brave and really strong to reach out to someone. And I let them know, about confidentiality and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's how my system starts off, and just getting to know people and let them know that it's okay to not be okay sometimes,
That's good. That's good. I hope y'all are taking notes, because she has just walked a business owner through how to get a client. I didn't even have to say anything. She first started off with getting a client. Somebody is interested. When they become interested, okay, through that process, she has a consultation. Usually it's free. Maybe it's 30 minutes. Maybe it's an hour, 45 minutes. She has that moment to talk with them. Then after she talks, she gives the assessment to see if she is a good fit for the client. Come on here, Kimmy. And then after that, she says she follows up with an email to, let them know what's the next steps or anything like that. That is a system on how to book a client from start to finish Thank you, Kimmy, for adding that context. Anybody else want to jump in or tell me a system that they have?
No, I just want to piggyback off of what Kimmy shared. Thank you, Kimmy, because I was sitting here thinking like, oh, my system. But yes, the system to her business is similar to or can relate to the system of my business, which is, educator. We have to ask my systems before you can do anything with the student. You have to assess. You have to you have especially at the beginning of the year, you have the beginning of the year assessment so that you can plan your instruction. And unlike Kimmy, I can't say, oh, I'm not a good fit for this child. I have to, but you are aware of those, personality differences in the classroom, and you do seek certain strategies and things to help that student be successful. But it does starts with that initial assessment and daily assessment. And so the system that I have, when you assess it, we have to group and collaborate so to see who they work well with, if they be a good fit in this small group, based on their abilities, their reading levels, or ability to work well with each other. So yes, that system starts with that assessment, and I think that's important for a system. That's the first step.
Yep.
Is assessing, even if you have to assess yourself to see what type of system that you want to run, or what type of system you need to come up with if you don't have a business or anything. That assessment is the important piece that I believe everybody should have.
You're right, Tanisha. We always have to assess first. We need, and then the cool thing about it, so she's an educator for y'all on Zoom. So she, like she said, she can't turn down her people. She has to find ways to get creative to help that person. And so, for example, I know we have someone who does fitness, but when someone signs up for a gym membership and they want a trainer, you can't opt out and say, I can't do this. They pay for a service through some type of company. And so you have to find ways to handle that particular client. So all of these things are good. So if you are a business owner, or you can take notes. For the first thing you need to do is assess. You have to have some type of offer, and then you want to assess to make sure that you know what they need. Hear them out. Usually what I do for a lot of you guys who have come through my coaching cohort, I have a session with you, the very first session, and I'm really listening to you to see what you need and how I can better serve you. That is a system so that I can be effective. And if I don't have what this client needs, then, or if I do, I tell them, okay, hey, this is our two options. This is what I need to do. And I follow up with, like Kimmy said, an email. But like Tanisha, her thing is totally different. She has babies, children. She has to find creative ways to do what she needs to do to handle her students. So that's all of these are systems, and we need those. And so even if you are an author or you want to become an author, you have a product that you're getting ready to serve them, which is the book. So do we have it? I know we have, we don't have any authors here on the actual already authors, not aspiring, but anyone who's written a book. So when your book is published, I don't think we do, I don't know, but when your book is published, okay, and I want to say that because I want to talk to authors and business owners as well. When your book is published, you have a product, okay? When you get your product, the first thing you're going to do is you got to offer it to them. So you got to try to sell it. whether that's through a vendor event, or if that's something online, you're at an event. Let's say you're at an event and you are marketing your book, okay? And someone sells that book. What happens? What do you think happens after you get that sale? Do you let that client walk away with just the book? Or is there something else that you do? I just want to hear your thinking. You can put it in the chat. Those of you who are on Clubhouse, you can come off the room, off mute, and answer that. What do you think you do next after you got the sale? Is that it? Or do you have something else in place? Or you're not sure? And it's okay to not be sure. I'm looking at Zoom, I'm looking at Clubhouse. So I'm wondering, maybe not sure. So once a person gets a book or buys a book from you, you want to be able, and this can go in so many other ways for business owners, but you want to be able to capture information such as emails, phone numbers. You need some type of text marketing. You need some type of email list marketing so that you can continue to have communication with that person who bought the book. The sale is not the end. Okay. You want to be able to follow up with them. So maybe you want to get reviews for your book, or you may want to be able to send them a thank you note. Or you want to be able to offer them something additional. Maybe you're an author and a coach, and maybe you have a book, and maybe you can offer them a service. But yeah, you want to have some type of way to get in touch with them. So once you make the sale, once you close the deal, you want to be able to say, oh, I want to go back. Let me email them and say thank you. So you want to capture their email. You want to get their information, and then maybe a week later, hey, I saw you at such and such, such. Thank you so much for buying my book. Listen, have you read it yet? Tell me what you think. Write a review. You want to have something that keeps them engaged. And when you have something new come out, or if you do something new, you want to be able to offer that to them as well. That's how you get customers and you keep them. You stay connected. Okay, so if you're not using, and this is again for business owners and authors, some type of email list, email marketing, some type of text messaging system, even for my business owners, my life coaches, those who, you know, if you have someone who's not in your SERP, or you're not a good fit or whatever, you can still message them and get some type of marketing, email marketing services with them, and put them on your mailing list. And maybe it can be, for a lot of you, I think most of you are on my mailing list, and sometimes I share with you different products. I have something that comes out every Monday called Mind Shift. It's motivational. I send them inspirations. I send them what's going on. I tell them, hey, I'll be at such and such. If you want to come, I keep a communication with them. Okay, so you want to make sure that is a system. The sale is not the final thing. You want to be able to convert them to be a long time client of yours, whether it, and I'm not saying it could be financial or whatever, but you want to have some type of way that you can continue the conversation with them way after the sale has been done. So once you, for authors, you get that book, you go to an event, they buy it, and you can either send them a thank you or offer them something additional, or you want to add them to some type of mailing list. You want to keep them connected to you. Hey, like my Facebook page. Hey, go to my website. Hey, follow me on Instagram, so that you guys can have some camaraderie and, you know, some communications way after the sale. Even for coaches and those people who do, like Kimmy says, she has clients who comes in and she offers a service with them. After that service is done, what happens? What do you do? Is that it? Do you rebook? Do you have something else for them to get? What happens after that first initial service? I hear you all. I see you off mute, Kimmy.
Well, normally what happens with me, after the initial service, because one of the good things about being a life coach, I'm trying to empower them to be able to do whatever it is they want to do, to be able to do it on their own. So even though we're going to work into a end point, we still want to keep in contact, because other things come up. Because like I said, I deal with the milestones and the different transitions in life. So I always still communicate. A lot of them still will reach out on Facebook or whatever, or Instagram. I still have contact. And with those that I can't help, I still have contact with them, because what happens is, if we're doing an assessment and I find out that you need more than I'm able to give you, I will hold your hand and take you to who can help you. Like I said, if that's a psychiatrist or whatever the case may be, I make sure that it doesn't look like, well, hey, I can't help you, and I just throw my hands up, because that's not going to help. That's not going to encourage them to seek more help. That's just going to kind of make them feel like, well, hey, I was right. I shouldn't try to talk to anybody. So once we determine that, hey, you need a little bit more than I'm able to do, I say, well, hey, let's look at some options. Let's look at some names. I know a person here. What area are you in? And then I reach out and, let them know, and it kind of just finagle everything to work out so that it's finalized, and I know that they are with the next person that can help them. You just never want to just drop the ball and be like, hey, I'm done. So that's kind of, I still continue to have contact with those that receive service. So yeah.
That's good. And you said something I want to hit on. You said that you connect them with someone who can help them. So my question is, who is in your network? Who can you, business owners. Who is in your network who can service that client if you can't? Prime example. So for a lot of you guys know that I do book coaching, and I wish she was on here. Oh my goodness, I wish she was on here. I meet a lot of clients who want to write books, but they don't want to write them, if that makes sense. I want to write a book, but I don't want to write it. So they need a ghostwriter. They need a ghostwriter. A ghostwriter is the person who's going to write that book for them. All they do, this is how that works. And I wish she was on here. Oh my goodness. She and I have worked together for a long time. We're actually working on a project right now for a guy. We have a client right now who don't have the time, but wants a book. He hires a ghostwriter, and he tells that ghostwriter everything they need to know. Not word from word, but they're going to give that ghostwriter as much information as they can. And what I do is, if I know, because that's not, I want it already written. I don't want to write it. And so I would love for it to be already written, but I know somebody who can do it for you. And so they give that information to that person, and that ghostwriter writes the book for them and goes back and say, hey, is this what you meant? Is this what you said? Who is in your network? I'm going to ask that again. And I want you to keep that in mind. Who is in your network who you can funnel people to? We have a whole lot of, I don't know what it is or why, but it's enough, I'll just say it like this. It's enough money for everybody. And so we don't have to kind of hog it all to ourselves. We need to be able to, and this is one of the things I'm really big on, like being able to funnel people to other people. Being able to, okay, listen, I know somebody who's dope at doing book covers. I'm going to send you to that person. I know somebody who can help you write your book. I'm going to send you to that person. I got 10 manuscripts on me already. I can't do it right now, but I got another person who can do it. Let me send it to that person. We have to get out of not networking with people. We got to have people in our corner. It takes a village to do this stuff, y'all. It takes a village to do some of this stuff. We don't know everything, and we don't always have all the resources for everybody. So we have to be able to send people elsewhere and be okay with that. Be okay with that. So if you are I know I have some people who are interested in writing books, but you may be out selling your books and they may say, oh, who helped you? How did you do that? And you're going to be like, well, I had a coach. That person is blah, blah, blah. Here is their information. And it goes like that. We have to be able to have people in our Rolodex. So go back and start gleaning and networking and get with like-minded individuals. Get in these communities. There's so much information out there. It can be information overload for me, but there are so many communities that you can get into and they can help you do things that you can't do. They can give you wisdom and knowledge on things that they have been through to help you, help you with where you're trying to go. For example, Tanisha is an educator. There are groups on Facebook with like-minded educators all across the world sharing Bitmoji classrooms. I remember Tanisha she and I used to work together. We were co-teachers. And so when we had to go to virtual learning, she was like, oh, I know this place that got these, this group that has the classrooms already set up. And all you have to do is put this and that and that. She was able to give me a resource. We have to learn to share our resources. So get around. A lot of us, I know we may not be there yet, or we're in the starting phase, but start getting around like-minded people who are doing those types of things so that you can glean and learn and connect and be able to, build this community. Kimmy, did you have something to say? I see you were off mute.
Yes, you said a word there. You really said a word about networking. And that is something that it's very we really have to get to the point of being able to network, to be able to share information and not hold on to information. Because how I feel with life coaching is that's a calling. And from the very first breath I take to the last breath I take, God created me for a purpose.
Yeah.
And when you are walking in your calling and you're walking in your purpose, you don't ever have to worry about lack. You don't have to worry about competition. Yes, because Lord. Most people realize and recognize what their gift is and what their purpose is. And with that, you don't have a problem referring to somebody else. I don't sit there and say, "Ooh, let me not say that she a life coach. I'm a life coach. Let me not say anything." Because no matter what, you are an individual that is different from everybody else. It may be something about you that pulls somebody in, maybe something about me that pulls somebody in. So you don't have to be in competition with your brothers and sisters in Christ about anything. Because at the final end of the final day, it's about kingdom building and it's about helping people to grow and be in a better place than what they started when they met you.
That's good, Kimmy. That's good, man. We got to start it. It's too much. Listen, there is a whole lot of coaches. So for one of the things I tell my clients in my cohort is that I have an affirmation that I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure that didn't go black, but I have an affirmation that I say over myself. And one of the things that I say is, I know that there are 1 billion coaches out there, but there are people who need the expertise that I have. There are many teachers out there, but them babies need that from you. That school system, that school needs you. Because you have something to offer. You have to be able to be okay with being in the room with other people and being comfortable in your own skin, knowing that you bring something to the table. And if I can be honest, that was a lesson for me to learn. It's like now there's such a confidence in me right now. Listen, it took me a long time to get here, but I'm telling you, you have to step up and be like, hey, God made me who I am. He has given me this ability to do X, Y, and Z. Let me show up. It's about showing up differently and being okay and comfortable in your own skin and knowing that, oh yeah, there may be sister girl down the street doing the same thing that I'm doing, but God has sent a particular people to me for me to coach, for me to tutor, for me to serve, for me and me alone, and I'm okay. It doesn't have to be 15 people like my friend had. He can send me 5, and them 5 are going to be exactly what I need them to be, and I'm going to be what they need. Okay, so we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with that. Camilla, I just saw that you text me. Was it something that you wanted to? I'm sorry, I did not know the chat was disabled, but if it's something that you want to say, your mic has been unmuted. I don't know if she. Hold on, y'all. Okay. She may was just telling me that the chat was muted. Thank you so much. But yeah, this conversation is good, y'all. So I really want you guys to kind of like think about where you are, what you do, and what systems that you have in place right now. And it's time to like really assess them. Do you assess your systems? Here's another thing. Do you assess your strategies? Is it working? Are you doing the thing I love? And I'm gonna talk about this because I'm with Tanisha being an educator. It's something that we do on the daily. We have to assess our lessons. Once we taught a lesson and we give those kids a test, we need to look, okay, how many did well? How many did okay? How many did not so well? Okay, if I have 15 out of 16 students who did not so well, it's not them, it's me. I got to go back and assess how I taught it. I got to look at what I did and what I need to do differently. So do you even assess the systems that you have? And if you don't have any systems in place right now, my challenge to you is when you do it for, depending, and I'm talking to business owners and authors, if you do it for like 3 months, 60 days, 90 days, after that 90-day mark, you need to be assessing to see, is this working? Is it working? Because if it's not working, then we need to get a new system in place. We need to get something new in place. So assessing the system is going to be key. I said every 90 days, that's like quarterly, I think that's about quarterly. But you need to assess your system. Is the system of you getting book sales? Okay, you're gonna market on social media 2 times a day. Is that working? Is putting a picture and putting words out there working? If it's not, then that means, okay, it's time to do something else. What have you not done? Oh, I haven't gone live. Oh, I haven't talked about it. Oh, people want to hear my voice. And then when you get on there and you start talking and they hear your voice, and your sales go, they plummet, they go up, because now they're putting a face to your product. They want to see your face. They want to hear your voice. They want to see you. Reading the words is fine, but if the putting little posts here and there is not working, then you got to go back and check your system. How often do we assess it? Kimmy, you've been in business a while. Sibby, you've been in business. Do you guys, how often do you guys, or do you assess your systems?
Absolutely. I assess my systems at least once a month, because
that's good.
With me, I make clear to anybody that I meet that I love the Lord and I have a relationship with the Lord. However, I understand that everybody isn't in that same place. And so I have to make sure the strategy I use, is that something that I can bring into the conversation, or is this somebody that I only can do cognitive therapy with? So I have to constantly assess that. But also, to piggyback off what you were saying earlier before I forget, when we were talking about the differences and what somebody else brings, and you know, it could be a billion life coaches and things like that. But one thing that stood out that I was thinking about, in my situation, I used to beat myself up and be very shy and quiet and not tell people what I was doing, because I didn't feel like I was qualified, but I know that the Lord qualifies who he calls. And so I had to get out that mindset. And what he reminded me of, and this goes for anybody else, when you're dealing with your trials and tribulations and you're going through, the word of God tells us that we should comfort people the way that God comforted us while we went through that.
Yeah.
And so what sets me apart when I'm talking to people about anxiety, depression, chronic illness, grief, and divorce is I've experienced all of that. I'm not just coming to them from book sense, but I'm coming to them with an experience, a personal experience.
That's good.
And so always be mindful of the things that you have gone through and realize how they can help you bless and be a witness and help others that you may be dealing with. And those are the two things. So yes, I do assess my strategy quite often because of that fine line between the two.
That's good, Kimmy. That's good. And I like that you assess yours monthly. That's amazing. And yeah, like your trials and your testimonies, that can be the biggest thing. People need vulnerability. They need to see the real you. God told me that a while back, earlier this year. Charrisa, they need to see the real you. Like the real you that you hide and you don't want everybody else to know. They need to see that part. That's going to bring the transformation. That's going to bring the people when you start being real about it. Yeah, I had a struggle today and not trying to cover it up. You know, like being real about where you are, what you did wrong. One of the biggest things, and I love Kimmy said that, you know, she talks to her clients about those things. One of the biggest things God told me when I really started doing coaching, like really started doing book and business, well, book coaching, because a lot of people who come to me write their stories about, you know, their life, what has happened to them. And I remember having one client and she was very like on the surface. She was on the surface. She wouldn't go deep with that thing. And I had to, and God was like, you're going to have to talk to her about this. And I did. I had that tough conversation. Like, listen, people are not wanting to hear the surface levels things. They need the real, raw, real, honest, the truth, what happened, you know. They need that real part because they want to know that, you know, that somebody out there is like them, like they've gone through a similar situation or the same situation, and it's okay to talk about it because that was the way that you release your hurt and your fears and all of those types of things when you become vulnerable. And so those of you who are coaching and writing books, especially if you're writing a book about your past or your story, your life story, they want the honest truth about all of it. And so yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Kimmy. Vulnerability is definitely something that we need to make sure that we do as we are coaching. But yeah, like assessing systems, I'm gonna go back, assessing systems. So usually for me, so right now I have some things in place that I am shooting out or issuing out to my clients. And after I do that, it ends maybe like the third week of September, I'm going to go back and say, okay, what worked or what didn't work. But I can tell you this, when I introduced my coaching cohort in April, I got my clients word of mouth. And I send emails out just about every day. But it took me talking to somebody, hey, this is what I'm doing. And they were easily like, yes, that's what I want. People will listen to you before they read an email, is what I'm learning. Your voice, a lot of us are not where we need to be because we are not activating our voice. And that's one of the things, it goes in line with what God has given me already, because the next session that we have, I'm going to talk about voice activation. And so I'm so excited that how God just lined that up. But a lot of times, man, people want to hear it, not read it. So me going back, okay, I could do, you know, go back and assess my emails. Is this email marketing working for me? Are my, I even did, I think I did a Facebook ad for something. And I wanted to say, I didn't get anybody. I don't think I got any sales from the Facebook ad. And then that particular event or whatever that was, I got my leads from email marketing. So you have to just see what works for you. So a lot of you guys may not be where I am, but these are some things, some terms that you will be hearing if when you come to like getting sales and getting clients. So email marketing is a strategy that you can use or a system that you can use. Word of mouth is a system. Just plain old talking about what you have going on is a system that you can use, whether you get on here and you do it daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. That is a system that you can use. Text messaging is a system that you can use to get sales. Right now, a lot of you may not know this, but I use Google Voice for my business right now. I'm actually looking into getting a text messaging app where I pay monthly and it sends like the messages out to everybody at one time. Right now, I am copying and pasting on my Google Voice app. And Google Voice is nothing but a fake number that you use to give out to clients if y'all don't know what that is. And they can call that fake number and it rings to your real phone. And so I use Google Voice for my business phone. And right now I'm copying and pasting and sending out messages. My clientele is not that big. I can do that right now. But when the day comes that I'm not able to shoot them text messages out real quick, I'm going to invest. There's another word, invest in some things that put some systems in place for me. Investing in some of these, investing in a coach, investing in these marketing platforms, investing in a social media person who can help you, who can do the social media things for you. There are so many things, y'all, but I think this conversation has been awesome for this evening. And before we get ready to close everything down, I'm going to take any questions. Any questions from the people from Zoom or on the stage, or if you want to even add context or in Jesus' name, Tanisha, she said that day is coming, sis, in Jesus' name. Thank you. Yes, if y'all want to add to the conversation, I'll let you guys do that at this time. But if not, then we're going to get ready to in the session on tonight. So I hope that this has been impactful for you. I hope that you've learned some things. I hope that you at least see some things that you can do when you get to where you are going, because I do know I have some first time aspiring authors in the room who are on the journey to writing. And this may be something that I need to put this in my file box. So I take all these notes now. And then when it's time for me to get ready to sell, I know that I need to do bop, bop, bop. Oh, okay. I need to make sure I send them a thank you note. I need to make sure I do this. So it takes work, guys. It takes work, but you can do this. You got this. Any questions or any comments that you all want to share before I get ready to close us out tonight? And those of you on Zoom, if you want to talk, you do have permission to talk. You do have the option to talk now. Okay. Well, I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see anyone coming off mute. So again, this conversation has been amazing. This conversation has been amazing. Hey, Sylvie, I don't know what happened. It reshuffled the room. Okay, there it is.
Yes, I had wanted to say something before you got out.
Yes, ma'am.
And when we was talking about, it was two things. It's enough money out there for everybody. And access, I have to access myself and what it is that I bring to the table for the individual that I'm connected with. I love to watch movies, and certain things, they tell you, be careful what you watch, but certain things you have to look at it and see what it is that you can get out of it. I don't look at it as this person over here will make more money than I will, or this person, she can't do it like, I can do it. We are all gifted to do something. And one of my favorite movies is The Notorious Big. And his friend made, a lot of sense. He told him, I showed you how to get in the game. Now I'm going to show you how to get out the game. When one win, we all win.
That's good.
So you got a gift in you. Go out there and use it and do something great with it.
It's good.
I can coach someone about grief. I can coach someone on being molested, because these are things that has surrounded my life. I can coach somebody on how they feel about being adopted, because these are the things that have surrounded me in my life. Anybody that has had 8 deaths in the past 9 years, those are things that I have been surrounded with.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate and talk to them and coach them about that. But if someone comes to me about being married, about, I can't coach them. It's better for me to send them somewhere than to give them the wrong advice.
That's good.
And because I wouldn't feel right with myself knowing that I could have really helped someone and I done gave them the wrong advice.
Right.
When my sister is over here and she does this, I got another person. No, I'm not gonna get mad because you do something that I don't do. It's just like you were in the mall. If I work at the Met counter doing makeup, I'm gonna go to the back and pick out you a shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting you the wrong thing. It don't match.
Yeah.
So, first, we have to know and be, vulnerable and say, hey, that subject right there, I can't talk on it because I haven't been through that. I haven't been married. I haven't been divorced. My children, I don't, have children running around and they just get on my nerve and get in trouble. I can't relate to that. This is what I can relate to help you, but I can tell you where to go.
Yeah.
I can push you to somebody.
Yeah.
That's gonna really help you, and you're gonna really benefit from that.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at the money, because money comes and goes. The outcome is a win-win situation.
Right.
If I said that client to somebody else, we both don't want one. You don't want someone that's a client. I don't want knowing that my mind is set free of doing that. Hey, I was truthful.
That's
and
good.
Said, hey, I don't know that I did. I don't know that I did. I did. Because some people would just take your money just to be taking it. People ask me all the time, what makes you different? I said, I am a life restoration coach. I'm here to restore your mind. Because I know if it had not been for God or everything that I done been through with losing my only child and people that I love that was around me every day that I knew, my adoptive parents dying, it took a toll on me. And I know I don't supposed to be here, but God.
Jesus.
So he saw fit to see that I was him. People ask me, how do you do it? You sit up and talk about your son like he's still there. He was 2 years old when he got killed. Him and his father got killed together. How do you do it? God.
Yes, Lord.
And when I go to assess, I ask God, give me the feel that to see. I want to be able to feel what it is that my clients are in their faith. Do they believe in God? Because you got different nationalities. People study Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Muslim, and I don't want to bring my religion and say, oh, I'm a Christian, and I grew up Baptist, and now I'm non-denomination, and this is what I believe in. No, you can't do that. I tell everybody, this rule, as they say, that's code 101. You're breaking the code right there. Do not force your religion on somebody else. You ask God to give you that discernment so you'll know how to come and talk to that person when they come to you.
That's good. That's good, Sylvie.
So that's all I had to say.
That's good, Sylvie. Listen, I love your transparency. You said that, and I heard it in your voice when you talked about assessing. And let me tell you something, sis. I didn't used to do that. I didn't used to do that. I only started doing that recently because I am a part of a business community where they pour out into their business, their community, and they share different resources. And that I was in that place what was that, maybe the end of last year. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have not been assessing things. I just been letting things just fly and go. And it's like, no, you need to assess, is your strategy working? Is it working? Because we can be doing the same thing, thinking that we're going to get a different result. And we need to understand we need to do something different so that we can get a different result. And so I get it. I get it. That was a hard thing for me. And even still, like, I still have to go back and assess, even on here, like after I do my coaching sessions and group sessions, I'm like, oh, did I give them enough information? Did I leave something out? I'm looking at my notes, like I'm going side by side, because if y'all watching me on Zoom, y'all probably like, what is she doing? But I got my tablet right here where my clubhouse fam is, and then I got my notes and stuff on here. And so I'm just like, okay, did I cover everything that I wanted to cover? Could I have been gave them more? So I'm always looking at how I can be better. And the fact that that's something that you need to do, that's a great start, Sylvia. And I thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to hit on one more thing, and then I'm going to call on anyone else who wants to go. But I actually heard someone break down this particular verse in Psalms 23 a little bit differently. And I want to share. This is not something that I actually heard. It didn't come from me. But it says, Psalms 23 verse 2, it says, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. I want to talk about the green pastures part. What she said was, a lot of times, and you'll get it when what I'm about to say, a lot of times things are not working because we're not in our pasture. We're in a pasture, but it's not ours. We're in a lane, but it's really not the lane that we need to be in. He makes us lie down in green pastures. So that means that what you were saying, Sylvie, you can talk to somebody about certain things, but you couldn't, even for me, I can't talk to people, which I don't know why God sends them to me, but I've never been married before. So I can't talk to married couples. There may be something I can say, but, or encourage, but like to give them like advice or something, like I don't have that. I don't have that experience. So I can't tell a married couple what to do, but I can encourage them and give them the word of God and be like, this is something you guys got to talk to God about, but giving them a 2-step plan and coaching, and I can't do that. I can't. But what I can tell you about is how to write a book, how to start a ministry, how to start a business, because those are things that I have done. So, he makes me lie down in green pastures. So knowing what your pastures are and staying in your lane. So that's when you said that came to remembrance of when I was on a Instagram live with I can't remember her name. She's a prophetess. I can't remember her name. And she was talking about this passage of scripture, and she was talking about green pasture. So that just stuck out. And when you said that, it brought that back to my remembrance. So thank you so much, Sylvie, for sharing. Anyone else have anything they would like to say or add before we get ready to close the room? Anyone? Well, I pray that this room has added value to you. Man, you guys are such a blessing. I thank y'all so much for being vulnerable and coming up onto the stage. God gave me a strategy to do live coaching, like talk to the people in the moment. Whatever you're talking about, talk to them in the moment, whoever it is, whoever's on. And so this is my first time actually doing that. And I'm just so excited that I obeyed, because the conversation and the value that each one of you all have is so good. And it's just been a blessing to me. So again, I thank you guys so much for joining. Listen, if you are on Clubhouse and you are not a part of the Creatives Lounge, what are you doing? You need to get a part of the Creatives Lounge, which is a place where me, my team, my tribe, my people, we host all these different rooms for entrepreneurs and aspiring authors. If you are on Zoom and you're interested in learning how to get on Clubhouse, you can just text me and I'll send you the information. Because there are some times where I may get on here just in the spur of the moment. God say, oh, do a room, and I may get on here, and it may not be just a coaching session. It may just be something he wants me to talk about, because in this season, God has told me that my voice is needed. And for a long time, I have shied away from a lot of things and a lot of conversations, but this new person that I am, it's like, nah, we got to talk about that. So you may have a lot of different things coming up real soon. So make sure you stay connected. Listen, my website is also still talking to the people on Clubhouse, and I'm going to put this in Zoom as well. My website is there. You can know more about what I do, all that I do, my book and business coaching, my live clarity session that I'll be doing next week. I have another group coaching session. I think it's on the 25th of August, where we're going to talk about elevating our voice with Keisha Peoples, which is if you guys are familiar with the ministry, she is a part of HR Ministries with me. She's going to be coming and just talking about voice activation and how important it is to use our voice. I do feel that's where God is leading me in this season, to be more vocal. Henceforth, that's why you have all of these things. And also, too, going live. Kimmy, I used to do that. I used to do videos on my YouTube. God has told me I need to go back. And so I'm going to start shifting some of my videos that I do on YouTube as well. I think this may be one, because I haven't did it in a while. This may be one that goes to YouTube, but there are going to be other things that I do that are going to be private events to my clients and coaching community and my Clubhouse family only. So I'm just excited about what God is doing. So make sure you get connected. If you click on that link, the first thing that pop up should be like a little gray box where you can join the mailing list. If you're not on my mailing list, get on there. You'll get all of the things that I have coming up. Listen, I believe that you guys are prayer warriors as well. I'm a faith-based person, so we talk about God, we pray, we intercede. Listen, next week, God is allowing me to go to a women's retreat in Georgia. I have to speak. I'm speaking at a women's retreat next week. I'm so excited. But I also want you guys to cover me in prayer as God is leading me to do more things like this, evangelism. And so I'm very excited. I'll be in Atlanta from Thursday through Sunday. And my speaking session is actually on Saturday, but they have paid for me. They paid for me to come, like, for the entire trip. Like, I was like, what? So I said, yes, I'm gonna take it. So I'm speaking next week. So y'all be in prayer for me on that. I'm very excited. I don't know if it's going to be something like live stream or anything like that, but if so, I'll find out and send you all that. And then the week after that, I have another speaking engagement on the 19th. and then just got booked for something in September. So when I say God is really moving, he's really moving. And I ask that you guys continue to keep me uplifted as I continue to go forth and do the things that God has called me to do. I love you guys so much. I thank you so much, my Zoom family. I thank you so much for joining. I try to keep these rooms at least to an hour, so it won't be so long, but you will be able to catch this replay on my YouTube channel. On those of you on Clubhouse, it'll be back on there. And for anyone who I love you. Y'all, I love y'all. Y'all just blowing this. I love y'all, man. Listen, God is so good. He's so faithful. If you just trust what he's doing and be open to how he's going to do it. I used to think like, Lord, you want me to go do things like this? I never thought I'd be out of the classroom. Like this was not, like I didn't think like me, you sure? Me, now I wanted to be an entrepreneur and make my own schedule, but you talking about doing this, like speaking and coaching and stuff. So it's amazing. God is amazing. And I just want y'all to be open to how he does things, and don't be afraid to use your voice in this season. You never know who is watching you. You never know who you are influencing, who you are helping, just by doing what you do. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for joining. And listen, come back June. I'm saying June. No, August the 25th. Why I said June, that was crazy. But August the 25th, we'll be talking about voice activation. Y'all don't want to miss that conversation. Again, I may be calling some of you guys to come up the stage. So be welcome, be open to it. I would love to have you guys. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining. And I'm going to end this call. God bless you. Y'all have a great night.